You sound like a fool.
I don't, because I know what I'm saying.
Are you trying to sound like a fool? You sound like a fool.
I'm trying to sound what it is.
You sound like a fool.
That's your opinion.
No, my opinion's the only one that...
All right, today we're stepping into a very special kind of courtroom. This is a place where every excuse, every tall tale, it just dies. We are diving deep into the world of Judge Judy, where the only thing that has any value is the cold, hard truth. You see, in Judge Judy's world, there's no time for long, drawn-out stories. She doesn't have the patience for it. Her whole philosophy is simple. Get to the facts and get there right now. If your story has even a tiny crack in it, believe me, she's gonna find it, and it's all over before you even know what happened. And this is the #1 rule. Before you even get a word out, she makes it crystal clear that your opinion, your feelings, none of that matters. It's a total power move, and it immediately erases any idea you might have had of arguing your way to a victory. So how does she keep that iron grip on her courtroom? Well, it all starts the second someone opens their mouth. She lays down the law, her law, instantly, and you better catch on quick. Okay, let's look at our first case. We've got a woman here who's trying to really downplay what she did. She's painting this picture of just, knocking on a door a little loudly. It almost sounds kind of reasonable, right? But Judge Judy, she's an expert at peeling back those layers. And there it is. She doesn't just say, "You were banging on the door." No, she creates this hilarious, vivid image of a demolition audition. It's brilliant, because with one sentence, she completely destroys the woman's flimsy excuse and shows everyone the real aggression that was there. This is so smart. To head off any claims of unfairness, she just flips the script. What if a father did this? The point is suddenly crystal clear. It's the action she's judging, not the person doing it. It's just a super fast, super effective way to shut down any argument before it even starts. And that, right there, is the ultimate rule. The moment someone tries to talk over her or argue back, she just shuts it down, hard. She takes total control of the conversation. It's not a request, it's a command. That's how she keeps things moving and stops the whole room from turning into chaos. So, the rules are set. Now let's look at her primary weapon, pure, simple, undeniable logic. She uses it like a scalpel to just cut away all the foolishness and get to the core of an issue. So get this, we've got a business owner who thinks she's completely untouchable because of her policy. She's hiding behind this little rule she made up, thinking it's some kind of perfect legal shield. She says it like that's the end of the discussion. And boom, in one sentence, Judge Judy just smashes that shield to pieces. She basically establishes that there's a higher authority in her courtroom, and it's called common sense. It's a classic move, just slicing right through the red tape and nonsense. Okay, this next one is on another level. We're not just talking about a bad argument anymore. This guy is making a claim that seems to go against the very laws of physics. Let's meet the man with the supposedly weak shoulders. I mean, come on, how can both of these things be true at the same time? They can't. And that's her genius. She doesn't even have to argue. She just puts the claim right next to the reality and lets the lie expose itself. The contradiction is just staring you right in the face. And the final blow? It's not even an accusation. It's almost like career advice. It's absolutely devastating. She's basically telling him, look, you're so bad at lying, you'd probably have better luck just telling the truth for once. Ouch. So we've seen her use logic. But what happens when she has to go toe-to-toe with a straight-up lie? How does she actually take it apart piece by piece? Let's break down her method. Sometimes the lie isn't even that clever. Take this guy, a tenant whose entire story crumbles because he literally can't keep his facts straight. All Judge Judy has to do is just sit back, ask a simple question, and watch him walk right into his own trap. And you gotta love this. She doesn't just call him a liar. She gives him a title. She defines fibber on her own terms like it's a scientific classification in her courtroom. It's a brilliant way to not just make an accusation, but to summarize all the evidence against him in one word. But what about when the lie involves someone who isn't even in the room? This is where her strategy gets really, really sharp. We've all heard the excuse, "I couldn't have done it, I was with my friend Bob." Well, she has a playbook for that. And there it is, the question that brings the whole house of cards down. It's so simple, but it's pure genius. Why? Because liars, they practice the big parts of the story. I was with Bob, but they almost never think about the small, boring details. This question goes right for that weakness. So here's the technique broken down. It's like a 3-punch combo. First, she asks for a tiny detail he hasn't prepared for. Then, she ups the ante, demanding proof she knows he can't possibly have on him, like Bob's phone number. And finally, she just sits back and watches the whole lie just collapse under the pressure. So we've seen it all, the anger, the bogus policies, the contradictions, the lies. So what's the one thing that ties it all together? What is the single biggest crime you can commit in Judge Judy's courtroom? That's it, right there. At the end of the day, every stupid excuse, every lie, every contradiction, it's all just a colossal waste of her time. For Judge Judy, being dishonest isn't just wrong, it's disrespectful. And that is the one thing that guarantees you will lose. So if we boil it all down, what have we learned? Logic beats your personal policy every time. If you contradict yourself, you've basically just confessed. A simple question can unravel the most complicated lie. Your story has to be consistent. And really, honesty is the only game plan that has any chance of working. Her style is direct, yeah, sometimes it's even brutal, but it's always focused on getting to the truth. And it really makes you wonder, right? If we applied that same ruthless logic to the excuses and stories we all hear and maybe tell every single day, how many of them would actually hold up?